ओम ज्ञानतिमिरन्धस्य ज्ञानञ्जनशलाकाय चक्षुरुमितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरुवे नमः। श्रीचैतन्यमनोभीष्टं स्थापितं येन भूतले स्वयं रूपा कदा मायं ददाति स्वपदान्तिकं। वन्देऽहं श्रीगुरु श्रीयुतापदकमलं श्रीगुरून् वैष्णवंश्च श्रीरूपं सागरजातं सहगना रघुनाथान्वितं तां सजीवं साद्वैतं सावधूतं परिजनसहितं कृष्णचैतन्यदेवं श्रीराधाकृष्णपादान् सहगना ललिता श्रीविशाखान्वितंश्च हे कृष्ण करुणा सिन्धु दीनबन्धु जगत्पते गोपेशा गोपिका कान्त राधाकान्त नमस्तुते। तप्तकाञ्चन गौराङ्गी राधे वृन्दावनेश्वरी वृषभानुसुते देवी प्रणमामि हरिप्रिये। वंशकल्पतरुभश्च कृपा सिन्धुभैव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः। जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैता गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौर भक्तवृंद। हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे हरे, हरे राम 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 हरे हरे। ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। Hare Krishna, thank you all for coming. So today we will be revising Unit 14, Canto 3, Chapter 30 to 33, where you will all be presenting your respective presentations. Couple of devotees are away, so they have sent their recording, very appropriate on their part. So we'll hear from them. We'll start with Chandran Prabhu. So Chandran Prabhu has sent his recording because he is traveling. Let's hear from him.
All glories to His Divine Grace, Srila Prabhupada, Guru Parampara, and Sri Sri Radha Krishna. Seeking permission from Guru and Gauranka to speak on the subject matter of Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 3, Chapter 30, Text 1 to 18. Seeking permission from all the assembled devotees for any of my shortcomings. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Hare Krishna. Life and death of a materialist. This is actually description by Lord Kapila of adverse fruitive activities. A conditional soul lives in a particular body for a fixed measurement of time. Within this small time, one has to finish Krishna consciousness and get released from the influence of time factor. Materialists waste time in producing material necessities due to the ignorance. All produced by them will be destroyed in due course of time. Materialistic think that his body as permanent. Due to the illusion of Maya, he accepts his home, money, land, etc. are permanent. Whereas one enlightened in Krishna consciousness use these for the service of the Lord. Everything has a relationship with Krishna. In material world, happiness is referred to hog and dog. Lots of sufferings due to attractions to body, and we refuse to give up. The illusion, the external energy, Maya, covers one knowledge in material life. In lower grade, one cannot understand whether he is happy or destroyed or distressed. This is called avaranatmika. By the influence of Maya, conditional soul becomes attached to particular type of body. La Krishna says, give up everything in material world. Come to me and I shall give you all protection. But refusing this, everyone is satisfied with his standard of living, however abominable it may be. One who acts on mental plane cannot get promotion to the spiritual. In Kali Yuga, everyone is harassed and full of anxieties due to Maya and the family we created. In Krishnaloka, the family, friends, society, father, mother, and everything are eternal. In material life, family, society, and friendship are flickering. They are called asat. The materialists do not know that these family and body attachments are shadows. Their hearts are always burning. They have no information of the real family and association with Krishna. Family life within the illusionary energy may just like a prisoner for eternal living entity. The love of women and children make one a secured prisoner, in Vedic language called as Graha Meti, whereas one who lives with family and relation but develops Krishna consciousness is called as Grahastas. Godhead himself certifies that the material world as an impermanent place that is full of miseries. There is no question of happiness in material world, either individually or of family, society or country. All our attempts to become happy in this material world are simply delusion offered by Maya. One cannot satisfy his dependence of this illusory services. By serving Maya, he is gradually going to hell. Therefore, a sane man should come to the point of Krishna consciousness and engage in the service of the Supreme Lord, dedicating his life, wealth, and intelligence. He will attain peace and perfection. The unfortunate man, unsuccessful in maintaining his family members, is bereft of beauty. He always thinks of his failure, grieving deeply. His wife and others do not treat him with the same respect. Therefore, to give up attachment before one attains an old age and take shelter of Supreme Personality of Godhead. Vedic scriptures advises a person after 50 years to give up a family life, go to forest and become sannyasi for spreading spiritual knowledge to everyone. Before realizing miserable conditions and disrespect from family, one should leave home and die without the knowledge of the family, which is considered a glorious death. In old age, disease condition, glands become congested and difficult to breathe. Thus, he comes to the clutches of death and dies down. He may be surrounded by the crying family people. The dying man would like to speak and instruct them of his desires, but cannot express because he is fully under the control of the time factor death. His grief only increases. Because of his deep family affections, he forgets his main duty of controlling the senses and improving his spiritual consciousness. He completely forgets his real engagement to become Krishna conscious. I submit and close with this session. Thank you very much.
Okay, super excellent. Brief summary by Chandran Prabhu. Shivangi is next.
Hare Krishna, dear devotees, seeking permission and blessings from all of you, Srila Prabhupada, Sri Guru Parampara, as well as Sri Sri Radha Krishna, to offer this summary of Canto 3, Chapter 30, titled Description by Lord Kapila of Adverse Fruitive Activities, verses 19 to 34. Please forgive me for my shortcomings and mistakes. In this chapter, as well as in subsequent chapters 31 and 32, Devahuti's seventh question to Lord Kapila is answered regarding the process of birth and death of conditioned souls, as well as the punishments they receive in hell. The purpose of this inquiry is to ensure that the conditioned souls who hear this become detached from material activities. In this latter half of the chapter, the conditioned soul's post-death experience will be discussed. At death, the materialist sees the Yamadutas arrive to take him, and due to great fear, he defecates and urinates. Yamadutas are sent for the souls who have strongly gratified their senses in family life. The Yamadutas can be understood as constables of the state who arrest a criminal who is engaged in sense gratification. The subtle body is the covering of the mind, false ego, intelligence, and consciousness, and this is used for the punishment so that the conditioned soul can tolerate the suffering without dying. On the way to the hellish planet. The conditioned soul is distressed because he gets bitten by dogs, remembering the sinful activities of his life, and he becomes overwhelmed. The hellish journey is further described as the criminal soul passes through hot sand roads with blazing fires burning all around. He suffers from hunger and thirst and exhaustion while being whipped by the Yamadutas. These miserable conditions become unbearable, and he repeatedly loses consciousness due to pain, but he is forced to keep continuing on the journey. Once brought before Yamaraja, he is engaged in the punishments he is destined to suffer. Descriptions of various punishments are narrated briefly in this chapter, such as burning in wood, having flesh eaten or eating one's own flesh, tortured by animals, and so on. Conditioned souls who indulge in sexual sense gratification are meant to suffer punishments in the Tamishra, Under-Tamishra, and Raurava hells, who experience hell or heaven even on this planet, as hellish punishments are sometimes visible here also. On Lord Yama's planet, the sinful conditioned soul is made to practice the hellish conditions of his next birth, and then in his next birth he lives in those conditions. In any hellish condition, he thinks himself to be happy, otherwise he will not be able to suffer that hellish life. After leaving this body, the man who maintained himself and his family members by sinful activities suffers a hellish life, and his relatives suffer also. It's important to note that the direct offender is more responsible for sinful activities than the indirect enjoyer, although the indirect enjoyers are also punished. Money earned by a criminal process may be left behind by the conditioned soul when dying, but by superior engagement he carries with them the effect and therefore must suffer punishment. Maintaining one's family is the duty of a householder, but one should be eager to earn his livelihood by the prescribed method as stated in the Shastra. He who earns his livelihood by unfair means is sent to the darkest hellish regions. Just as a prisoner who has undergone troublesome prison life is set free again, the person who has always engaged in impious activities is put into hellish conditions, and when he has suffered his due punishment in hellish lives, taking birth as lower life forms, he eventually, by the gradual process of evolution, comes back as a human being. If one takes to Krishna consciousness, even though he may not complete the full course, there is a chance he may receive a human birth again. With this hope, one may continue practicing Krishna consciousness. Thus ends the summary of Canto 3, Chapter 30. Thank you for this opportunity. Hare Krishna.
Okay, super excellent. Any questions, comments, realizations for both presenters?
Both have presented brilliantly.
Yeah, they did well, Prabhu.
Okay, I agree. Both presenters did a very good job. So I'm going to skip my presentation for this chapter 30 because it's going to be a repetition of what Chandran Prabhu and Shivangi just presented. They anyway did a very good job of presenting chapter 30. Okay, let's move to chapter 31. Uncle is going to start.
Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna, all devotees. All glories to Srila Prabhupada and Guru Parampara. Sri Sri Radha Krishna seeking permission and able to speak. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. The essence of this chapter I am attempting to present because most of us are connected to this chapter 31. Since Lord Kapila is talking to his mother, who wanted her detached, preparing her for his departure. Today I shall share my realization, which is a privilege. One is Jiva entrance, growth, and suffering in the womb. And two, prayers by a devotee, Jiva, within the womb. By the supervision of the Supreme Law, the soul enters in the womb of parents chosen based on post-karma of the soul. As a particle of the semen, the medium into the womb. After the first night to 6 months, the different phases of life begins. Senses of touch, smell, evolution of human being and devotee. The first night, the sperm and ova mix. Fifth night, the mixture ferment. 10th night, develop into a form of a plum and then lump of flesh or an egg. Month 1, hand formed, head formed. Month 2, hands, feet, and other limbs. Nails. Month 3, nails, fingers, toes, body, hair, bones, eyes, nostrils, mouth, and anus. 4th month, child, blood, flesh, fat, bone marrow. 5th month, male, if it is a male, moves right side of the abdomen of the mother. And 6th one, enclosed by amniotic membrane, indicates safety and surviving. 7th month, development of consciousness, feels hungry, gets nutrition through the umbilical cord, and lots of worms which bites causing rashes and existing in the amniotic fluid, sharing the same womb with the baby. Whatever mother eats, like salt, sweet, pungent food, baby suffers, child is not free to move. In a nutshell, the environment is suffering. The second sector, prayers by a devotee jiva within the womb. Prayers of jiva. He remembers his actions in the previous birth. Soul remembers Krishna lying. Based on the sinful activities, the soul surrenders to destroy miseries. He prays as to when he will get out. By causeless mercy, praying with the folded hands, Lord chose the jiva because of bhakti. But the jiva is agitated and requests to get out. Grateful, the jiva is grateful in human body and practices Krishna consciousness to see the Lord within and without. Since the jiva is subordinate, take shelter of the Supreme Soul, and both are sitting in the same body. Jiva is suffering. Super Soul is not, because he is transcendental. Avikaram, the changeless. Living entities, senses are polluted due to influence of material nature. Unlike Super Soul, never subjected to the influence, one can purify and get liberated by Krishna consciousness right from the point of surrender. Lord gives opportunity to forget his service and engage in happiness of material activities. Similarly, Paramatma from within gives the knowledge to surrender and get liberation. One is blessed to become free from material entanglement by enlightenment through spiritual master and Krishna. For his act of benediction, the child prays in a nice way in the womb by the causeless mercy of the Lord for the human body of life. Consciousness is developed to evaluate and realize the self and the Supreme Lord. Prays for deliverance. Just after birth, one forgets entangled in the bodily concept by the illusory Maya. Sukadeva Goswami, after cultivating such knowledge, came out at the end of 16 years, since he did not want to forget the Lord because of the influence of Maya. Whoever surrenders can overcome by Krishna consciousness and is saved from repetition of birth and death. By Krishna consciousness and chanting Mahamantra, no one can be checked in any circumstances for the higher purpose of life, that is Krishna consciousness. Hare Krishna. This is my submission.
Okay, super excellent presentation. So Preeti has recorded, and I will play her recording.
Hare Krishna. All glories to Srila Prabhupada Ji. Canto 3, Chapter 31, Text 22 to 48, Lord Kapila's teachings on the movements of the living entities. So, Lord Kapila explains how a devotee prays within the womb of the mother, and then the Jeev, which generally went to hell and then achieved so many species and finally came to the human form of life. After suffering in the womb of the mother, he actually comes out with so much of suffering. And after coming out in the form during the infancy and childhood, what he goes through, and then in the adulthood and manhood, he can get into the bad association, and through the effects of bad association, he performs bad activities. And then he can continue into the birth of that cycle. So the Lord asks the Jeev, what have you decided? The Jeev says he would stay in the womb and destroy the sufferings with the help of a friend, clear consciousness, to surrender unto you by keeping Vishnupad in his mind. He will not take birth again. So the 10-month-old living entity, who is a devotee, has to take birth, and then through Suttivat, he suddenly propels forth with his face turned downwards, so that he may be born easily in a much comfortable way. But for a non-devotee, he is forcibly pushed out by the Suttivat, where he goes through so many things and just comes out upside down with great difficulty. Almost practically breathless, deprived of memory due to severe agony. He forgets everything and enter into the ignorance. He falls on the ground, smeared with stools and blood, and placed like a worm germinated. After he is born, people don't understand his desires and put him into more miseries. When he is crying, people do not understand his desires and put him into more miseries. Because the baby cannot say actually whether he is hungry, whether something is biting him, or what is happening to him. He just cannot say. The baby is laid down on a fall bed infested with sweat and germs. He is not able to scratch his limbs, sit or stand or move. Babies are generally unclean because throughout the day they pass stool and urine and always spit coming out of their mouth. Being very tender, the body and his skin catches rashes and itches, and really it's very painful. In this way, he passes through distressful infancy and attains boyhood. In boyhood also he suffers when his desires are not achieved, and thus due to ignorance he becomes unhappy. With growth of his body, he increases his ignorance, false prestige and anger, and thereby creates enmity towards. Similarly, lusty children become angry when they don't get what they want. Once he grows, he develops a strong concept of I and mine, accepting the impermanent and permanent as permanent. Such a foolish Jeev constantly thinks in terms of I and mine and performs actions for the sake of his body, and becomes further implicated by reactions. He again enters the path of unrighteousness, associating with sinful people in order to satisfy his stomach and genitals. He again enters into hell as before. In bad association, he loses all his good qualities: truthfulness, cleanliness, mercy, gravity, intelligence, shyness, austerity, fame, forgiveness, control of mind and senses. The root cause of the living entity to rotate in the cycle of birth and death is because of it. All he achieves association of devotee. He can get out of passion, out of attachment, and by mercy of association with devotee. So one should be aware and avoid association. In bad association, he loses all good qualities, and in the case of Ajamal, born in a Brahmin family, he loses all his good qualities like truthfulness, cleanliness, mercy, and intelligence. One should not associate it with someone who is bereft of knowledge, of self-realization, who is no more than a dancing dog in the hands of a woman. The infatuation and bondage which accrue to a man from attachment to any object is not as complete as that resulting from the attachment to a woman. Even Brahma got attached to his own daughter and ran up to her in the form of a stag when she took the form of a hind. So none is immune to the attraction among this living entity, but the sage Narayan is immune to the attraction of Maya in the form of a woman, and those who do not worship Narayan is one. No one is spared by Maya in the form of a woman. Someone not worshipping Narayan can never get released from this attachment to sexual enjoyment. Even kings are conquered. Just try to understand the mighty strength of Maya. In shape of a woman, she kicks even the great kings into submission by the mere movement of her eyebrows. Even great devotee and jnanis should avoid the association of a woman who is declared in the scriptures to be a gateway of hell for the advancing devotee. Women are like the arrows of Cupid. One who associates with Maya in the form of a woman must certainly know that this is away of death. Just like a blind well is covered with grass, just as a woman is a cause of problem for man, similarly a man is a cause of problem for a woman. Living so bad association is extremely condemned, and that is only aggravating the internal attachment. A man who thinks about a woman while even at a point of dying he took birth as a woman in his next life. And similarly, a woman should consider her family, her house to be an arrangement of Maya for her own death, just as the sweet singing of a hunter is death for a deer, which is a continuation of the cycle of birth and death due to illusion. So the Jeev is wandering from earth to other planets to enjoy or suffer his karma phal. Death is the end of the Jeev's particular activities, and birth is the beginning of a particular type of reaction. Kapil Dev says that he talks about the do's and don'ts to the Jiva. Because there is no real birth and death, one should not be afraid, horrified, miserable, or eager to enjoy in the world. One should move around in the world free from the attachment and perform devotional service to the Lord without attachment to the material body.
Any questions, comments, realizations for the presenters? Again, Preeti also did a very good job.
The last two sentences gives a great message. The crux of the life.
Yes. Yeah, very good presentation.
Okay. So again, both presenters have done a very good job. I will again skip my presentation because it's going to be just a repetition of what they have just said. The intent is for you all to be able to present, and you all are doing very good presentations. So we'll continue with chapter 32 presentation. Mother Chandra Aunty.
Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna, all devotees. All glories to Srila Prabhupada and Guru Parampara, Sri Sri Radha and Krishna, seeking permission and able to speak. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. The topic is the entanglement in fruitive activities. Earlier chapter, we learned about the movement of the living entity and how it gets entangled in the world, the cycle of birth and death by fruitive activities. There are two types of workers in this world. Paviti Mark, they work for the economic development of the family, and they are the demigod worshippers, and they are Grahameti. The Prabhupada says they are the less intelligent people. Whereas the Nivarti Mark people are Grahasthas who work for the satisfaction of the Supreme Lord, and they do devotional service, consider themselves as the servant of the Lord and effort, and Lord is the master. And there is another type, Hiranya Garbha worshippers. They are the worshippers of Brahmaji. They remain in this world till Brahmaji live. That is two padas. Once Brahmaji dies and liberated, they cannot approach the Lord at Vaikuntha because they don't have bhakti for Vishnu. So they remain in Satyaloka till the end of Brahmaji's life. And at the end of the full annihilation, Brahmaji goes to spiritual world. And these worshippers goes to the Mahavishnu's womb. And again, when the creation takes place, they come to the material world again. So without bhakti, there is no one can get liberated. So perform bhakti, Kapila says. Lord Kapila criticizes Sakam Karmis. They don't develop interest in Krishna consciousness because of their too much attachment in this material world, and more so, and they are full of anxiety and desires more and more. So they worship, and they also worship the demigods and forefathers to fulfill their desires and improve their lifestyle. So they are not interested in Supreme Personality of Godhead and His pastimes and glories, even though they are transcendental, they have transcendental power. So they are allowed to go to the Patala Loka, and again, once their pious activities are over, they come back to the world to continue their birth and death. In the same way, people who follows the other yogas like jnanis and yogis, they also cannot be elevated to the position of association of the Lord, and they cannot see the Lord face to face, whereas the devotees can do. So, by adding bhakti in any mark, one can reach the Supreme Personality of Godhead. So, Bhakti Marg is the easiest and the fastest way to reach the Supreme Lord. That's what Kapila says. Hare Krishna.
Okay, again, super excellent presentation. Dipanjan Prabhu.
Hare Krishna. Please accept my humble obeisances. I am seeking permission from all the Vaishnavas present here, Srila Prabhupada, all gurus in disciplic succession, Srimati Radharani, and Supreme Personality of Godhead Krishna. Thank you for giving me this opportunity to speak on the glories of Srimad Bhagavatam, and please forgive me for any mistakes or shortcomings in my presentation. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. I will try to present the summary of Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 3, Chapter 32, verses 27 to 43. In this chapter, Lord Kapila describes that the main goal for all the yogis is to fully detach from material things, and this can be done through different types of yoga such as Bhakti Yoga, Gyan Yoga, and Ashtanga Yoga. And the easiest and the most effective path is Bhakti Yoga, where devotees engage their senses in the service of the Lord, surpassing the efforts of Gyanis and yogis who focus on detaching or controlling the senses. This direct approach leads to the highest spiritual realization. The Supreme Personality of Godhead is the source of all creation, including the false ego, the three modes of material nature, five material elements, the individual consciousness, the 11 senses, and the material body. This perfect knowledge can be gained by those who practice devotional service with faith, steadiness, and detachment, always thinking of the Supreme. While the while the atheistic yogis cannot achieve this. Further, Lord Kapila explains to his mother that all paths, whether philosophical research or devotional service, lead to the Supreme Personality of Godhead. The Lord is one but appears different due to various scriptural interpretations. He also describes how activities like charity, sacrifices, yoga, and self realization combined with detachment help one realize the Lord both in the material world and beyond. He explains the role of devotional service in society's different divisions and how eternal time affects all living beings, even if they do not perceive it. Lord Kapila then explains the living being experience different types of material existence based on their actions done in ignorance of their true nature. If they forget their real identity, they cannot understand where their movements will end. He says this knowledge is not for envious, greedy, or materialistic people, nor for those who are attached to family life or who envy devotees. It is meant for sincere devotees who respect the spiritual master, are friendly, and are eager to serve with faith. The spiritual master should teach this knowledge to those who value the Supreme Lord above all and are free from envy and have detachment from material things. He must see the bona fide qualities of a person whom he is going to initiate. An unworthy person should not be initiated. The spiritual master should train his disciple in such a way so that in the future only the Supreme Personality of Godhead will be the dearmost goal of his life. And anyone who meditates on, hears, and chants about the Lord with love and faith will surely return to the Supreme spiritual abode. With that, I would like to conclude my presentation. Thank you for your patience. Hare Krishna.
Again, is super excellent presentation by Dipanju Prabhu also. Any questions, comments, realizations for the presenters? I again don't have anything to add to chapter 32. Both of them again did very good presentations, almost verbatim to what I had to say. So we'll continue with chapter 33. Mother Jija is going to start, and she has, of course, slides which I will show on the screen.
Hare Krishna. I offer my obeisances to our Jagat Guru, Srila Prabhupada Ji. I seek the blessings from all devotees. Kindly forgive me for mistakes and shortcomings in my presentation. Om Namo Bhagavate Devaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. The Muni be a son.
Mother Jija, your voice is breaking.
Yes.
Mother Jija,
Yes, Prabhuji.
your voice is breaking. Are you able to be close by to the internet or somewhere?
Yes, Prabhuji. Devahuti, the wife of Kadama Muni, remembered Brahmaji's words that Lord Kapila will be her son. She accepted her son as her spiritual guru. Devahuti understood the basic principles of Sankhya philosophy, became elevated in devotional service, became Krishna conscious, or liberated even within this material world. She was freed from ignorance and gained transcendental knowledge. Man proposes, God disposes. We are dependent on the Lord to fulfill our desires. Lord Kapil Dev is an incarnation of Godhead. He appeared on the earth to give transcendental knowledge to the misguided conditional souls. We can know God from authoritative scriptures like Vedic literatures. As it is said, Sabda Mulatvad, he can be known through Sabda Brahma or Vedic literature. Devahuti offered her prayers and obeisances to Lord Kapila. She believed that her son was Lord Vishnu himself under the name of Kapila. Jivera Swarupa, Haya Krishnera Nitya Dasa. The real identity of a living entity is that he is eternally a servitor of the Supreme Lord. A person who chants the holy name of the Lord or hears the holy name of the Lord becomes liberated from the clutches of material entanglement. One who follows the path of devotional service taught by Lord Kapila is free from all anxieties of fear. Having imparted the knowledge of Sankhya philosophy to his mother, Lord Kapila had no more need to stay at home for spiritual realization, although he had nothing to realize spiritually because he himself is Lord Krishna, the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Devahuti lived in a very comfortable palace with all opulences. She did not leave her home because it is never recommended for a woman to leave a home. As a child, a girl is under the care of her father, later her husband, and then her son. So Devahuti remained at home and began to practice Bhakti Yoga as instructed by her son. The palace where Devahuti achieved a perfection is understood to be a most sacred spot. It is known all over the three worlds as Siddhapada. Her entire home became just like a flower crown on the river Saraswati. Lord Kapila's mission was to distribute the transcendental knowledge of Sankhya philosophy, which is full of devotional service. Having imparted this knowledge to his mother and through his mother to the whole world, Lord Kapila left towards the northeast. One who hears or reads the narration of Lord Kapila there becomes a devotee of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Lord Sri Krishna. Jai Sri Krishna. Thank you, devotees. Hare Krishna.
All right, super excellent. Any questions, comments, realizations for Mother Jija?
As usual, she did very well, Prabhu, with the figures.
Yeah, very good. So Preeti is gonna again do the last presentation and she has the recording. I will play her recording.
Hare Krishna. Canto 3, Chapter 33, Activities of Kapila Muni, text 13 to 37. All glories to Srila Prabhupada Ji. Hare Krishna. Kapil Muni blesses his mother and after taking permission leaves as his mission was fulfilled. After Kapil Muni leaves Mother Devoti, she follows the instructions given by him and practices Bhakti Yoga. So Srila Prabhupada Ji elaborates 2 points in the purport 13 and 14. That first, she did not leave the home. That means it is not advisable for a woman to leave her home. She is dependent on her father before her marriage and then her husband and son after her marriage. When Mother Devoti's husband Kadam Muni left his home and even her son, after discharging his duties towards his mother, she remained at home and practiced Bhakti Yoga. Her entire house became like a flower crown on the river Saraswati. Secondly, she bathed 3 times daily. The brahmachari, vanaprastha and sannyasi should bathe 3 times daily. Once early morning, then during noon time and in the evening. These principles are strictly followed even by grahasthas. Brahmins who are elevated in spiritual consciousness, who accept some penances and difficulties such as eating less food and sleeping less. These are the procedures to practice Bhakti Yoga, Jnana Yoga, Hatha Yoga. And while doing so, her curly black hair gradually turned grey due to austerity, her body turned thin and she wore old garments. Her husband Kadam Muni gave her all comforts and protection to her at all times. And she was very pleased with unconditional, as he was very pleased with unconditional service to her husband. He gave her all the comforts to enjoy and all the various opulences. Mother Devoti's unique position was that, in spite of her all possessions, which were even envied by the denizens of the heavenly planets, she gave up all her comforts. It is not easy, but she did so. She was able to detach herself from the material opulences and constantly meditate on her son, who was the super personality of Godhead in the Vishnu form. She became unattached to her nicely decorated house and attached herself to her son in the feeling of separation. The analogy given here is of the cow, which is affected by her calf when it dies. Through this continuous practice of Bhakti Yoga, she perfects her life by renunciation and by accepting only the necessities of the body. She took up devotional service very seriously. Due to the realization of the absolute truth, her heart became purified. She became fully absorbed in meditation of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, and all the effects of material nature disappeared in her mind. She became completely engaged in Supreme Lord and she automatically realized the knowledge of the impersonal Brahman. So, as the Brahman realized soul, she was freed from the designations of the materialistic concept of life. Srila Prabhupada says, unless one is freed from the material entanglement and situated in the Brahman, there is no question of entering into the understanding of devotional service and engaging in Krishna consciousness. All her material pangs disappeared and she attained transcendental bliss. Finally, she got situated in the eternal trance and free from illusion. She forgot her material body. So, after reaching the state where she even forgets her material body, her body was taken care by the spiritual damsels that were created by her husband, Kardamna Muni. And that's why it is said that Kardam Muni takes care of her even after leaving her. In the absence of any mental anxiety, her body remained the same. As being absorbed in the thought of Supreme Personality of Godhead, she wasn't even aware that sometimes her hair was loosened or her garments were disarrayed. She became liberated from material bondage and achieved the Supreme Lord as a super soul without any difficulty. Text 31 to 35. Siddhapad is a place where Devhuti achieved her perfection, and Kapil Muni says that it is understood to be the most sacred place when it is known all over the three worlds. And the perfection of a mother Devhuti was that the material elements of a body melted in the water and is now flowing river, which is most sacred of all the rivers. Anyone who bathes in it attains perfection. Lord Kapil, who was a supreme personality of Godhead, left his father's hermitage and, with the permission of his mother, went in the northeast direction. So, Srila Prabhupada explains that he was passing in the northern direction. All the celestial, when he was passing in the northern direction, all the celestial denizens known as the Charanas and Gandhavas, the damsels of the heavenly planets, the Munis, they all offered prayers to Kapil Muni and offered oblations and also a place of residence. Srila Prabhupada says that he first went towards Himalayas and walking along the banks of the river Ganges, he came to the delta of the Ganges and the sea which is known as the Bay of Bengal. The ocean gave him residence at a place which is known as Ganga Sagar, where river Ganga meets the sea. Even today people gather there. After respects to Kapil Muni, who is the original personality of who is the original author of Sankhya system of philosophy. This place is known as a Ganga Sagar Tirth. Falashruti is the description of the dealings. Whoever does the description of the dealings of Kapil Muni and his mother is very confidential, and anyone who reads this narration becomes a devotee of the Supreme Lord, who is carried by Garud, and then he enters into the abode of the Supreme Lord to engage in the transcendental loving service of the Lord.
Okay, again, a super excellent presentation by Preeti. Any questions, comments, realizations?
We are privileged to listen to 33.
Yes.
By listening to this, one becomes Krishna conscious. True.
Very good hearing with rapt attention. So I again don't have anything more to add. You all have done very good presentations. You all have perfected how to do presentations, so just continue doing it. That's the intent of these presentations. So we have lots of time today. Any questions, comments, realizations you want to use the time for?
One request, Prabhuji, to send this clippings today to me. I would like to once again listen at home. It's a refresher.
Yeah, I will send the recording. So from next week is our bigger presentation for Srimad Bhagavatam. So I have the schedule on screen. Now, the first February date, there are no presenters. From meaning next week, I don't see anyone ready for presentation. Is anybody able to present on next week, 1st of February? Yes, no.
What is the topic, Prabhu?
So whatever topic you have chosen. So we have completed Canto 3, and we said that after Canto 3, we'll do the bigger presentation. So for next few weeks,
Okay.
each one of you will be doing your respective presentation. So the entire class will be the presentations that you choose. So for example, Mother Chandra Aunty, you have Canto 2, the first chapter, the first step in God realization. Similarly,
Yes.
all presenters on the screen have their respective topics and verses that they will present.
No,
So,
Prabhu, next week some doctor's appointment, Prabhu. Yeah. Sorry.
We will
so
be traveling.
yeah, so I know Mother Jija and Preeti will also be traveling, and they definitely are not able to present. So uncle and auntie will also be traveling. So I don't know if anybody else is able to present next week, or you let me know what do you want us to do for next week.
Maybe you wish to commence Canto 4?
Well, then there'll be unnecessary break in between.
I see.
Like you'll have 7-8 weeks where devotees will be presenting. I mean, I can do Canto 4, but then you will have a very long break, and you may forget. So another option is that, I mean, if somebody becomes available to present, so there are few devotees who are not virtually present here, and they can decide. So for example, Shalini and Gopal, Sridhar and Kalyani, Chandran Prabhu, they are not virtually present. If they become available for 1st February presentation next week, they can let me know. Or alternative is that I can send Prabhupada lecture and you can listen to Prabhupada lecture. Or for your presentations, if you want some help, we can use the time for that individually or collectively, whichever way works for you.
I think Prabhuji, Prabhupada lecture will be better, Prabhu.
Okay.
I don't know, let others decide. I feel Prabhupada lecture will be better.
Okay. Anybody else has any thoughts? Shivangi also says Prabhupada lecture. I mean, if somebody else becomes available to present, by all means, can assemble and hear from them. But if nobody is ready, then I can send Prabhupada lectures for you all to listen to. And you can use the time to prepare for your respective presentations as well.
Prabhuji, do you have any sample videos from previous batches so
Or
that we
what?
can for how to give this presentation, 45 minutes presentation?
So I had explained in one of the previous presentation on how to present. So I can send you our presentation. So the videos that I have from the Bhakti Web of course, they are very long videos. You will get lost. So I had explained in a nutshell. I can send you that video again, or you can connect with me offline. Dipanshu Prabhu,
Okay.
what works best for you?
I will connect with you offline, or you can send me the video.
Yeah, I can
And
send you the video, and then you can still connect with me offline after watching the video with whatever
okay,
questions you may have.
sure, Prabhuji. Thank you.
Sridhar Prabhu, are you able to unmute?
Hare Krishna, Prabhu.
So, Hare Krishna. So, we have completed Canto 3 and the unit presentations also. And from next week are going to be the bigger presentations where you all will be doing the presentation, the 45-minute or 30-minute or whatever time works for you. So the question is that for next week, 1st of February, there are no presenters listed. Are you or Kalyani able to present on next week, 1st February?
Most likely not, Prabhu.
Yeah, that's all right. I'm just inquiring, no pressure.
No issues, Prabhu.
Okay, so we will send Prabhupada lecture unless somebody else comes forward. I doubt Shalini and Gopal could do it because they are also traveling. Chandan Prabhu, I'm not sure how far or how long he's traveling. He's traveling today, so I don't know the details of that travel. Okay, if nobody comes forward, which looks like the most likely scenario, I will send Prabhupada lecture and you can use the time to prepare. So those of you who have not yet populated your topic and or the verses, you should please populate what you are planned to present as soon as is possible. There's no pressure. As soon as is possible. And whosoever needs some help, you can connect with me offline. If you need Prabhupada lecture for your respective presentation, I can try to find, provided there is a Prabhupada lecture for the topic you are presenting. So from next week onwards, whenever the presentation start, it is not just for the presenters. So I had described earlier that yes, the presenter will be, of course, presenting and preparing the topic, but rest of the devotees will also prepare. So you have the topic and the verses on the Google document. So you should be prepared with the same verses and come prepared with some questions or realizations or some discussion points. So it's not just one way. It's supposed to benefit everyone, not just one. Everybody will be able to do that?
Yes, Prabhuji.
Yes, Prabhuji. Yes.
Okay, thank you. So Dipanshu Prabhu, I will send you the recording where I have explained how to do the presentation. In that recording, I had shown clips from the other presenters, as well as I had shown clips, or not clips, but slides from my presentation, the bigger presentation at the Bhakti Web. That should give you a lot of information. If not, or even if after watching, you are welcome to please connect with me for whatever further assistance you need.
Okay, Prabhuji.
And not just Dipanshu, everybody else is welcome to connect with me for whatever you need. Or if you have a draft presentation ready, you want to discuss, I'm also available for that as well. Everybody excited for the bigger presentation?
Yeah, Prabhuji. Excited and scared also.
As far as I am concerned, Prabhuji, every presentation is a total involvement, revision, learning, afresh.
Yeah, you are absolutely correct. And this bigger presentation is again the same concept. And what Mother Chandra Aunty said, that yes, scared is also a valid point, and you will realize that at the start it will feel like for 45 minutes I have to talk. I don't have anything to talk for 45 minutes or even 30 minutes. But it's a learning opportunity. And by doing this presentation, you will realize that when you attend the Sunday Feast lecture, they are kind of structured in similar way. And you will get a lot of benefit by doing this presentation in terms of grasping a lot more from the lectures that you attend, any other lectures, whether it be Sunday Feast or some other lectures. Provided it's a reasonable speaker, does not mean some newcomer will be following this properly. They may, but it still is subject to who the presenter is. Okay, I don't have anything more to add.
Prabhuji, thank you for the motivation. In fact, if I recollect how we started, commenced the preparation of presentation, and how you have slowly, the residue you removed, the fat part of it you removed, you wanted the essence of it. We could also realize how to do also. It is a real learning process. Apart from the contents, the container also you have refined. Thank you.
Very good. Very good realization that yes, it's a work in progress, and you all, like today, I didn't do any presentations because you all perfected. So it's all glories for you all that you stuck with the approach. You didn't take my feedback as anything negative, but you all improved upon whatever feedback I give, because therefore today I have no feedback. Today I have nothing to present because you all did absolutely perfect presentations. So all glories are for all of you to come to this point. Thank you.
No, Prabhuji, it's all your guidance, Prabhuji.
I have no role to play. You are doing your presentations. What role do I have to play? Nothing.
No, Prabhuji, if you see mine starting, it was, like not even like a baby class. Now it is somewhat better, I can say, not at least for 25-30%, all because of your guidance.
Very good, very good humility that you have, that you didn't call your presentations as perfect. You just said, oh, it's only some percentage better. So that's very good. Again, it has nothing to do with me. It's all your endeavor. And it's Srimati Radharani and Krishna guiding from within. So we have discussed that Srimad Bhagavatam, nobody can speak except Krishna. So Krishna is using you all as instruments. So that's the glory of Krishna, that even if somebody is not fully capable, but Krishna still uses that devotee as the instrument, as long as the devotee has the desire. And many times you will realize that sometimes some words come out that I didn't even prepare. Why? Because it is Krishna speaking. Okay, very good. Mother Jija had something to say.
Prabhuji, we kept up the time correctly this time. All of us.
Yeah, very good. Yeah, that's very good as well. Yeah, you all, not only you all perfected the way to present, but you all actually presented within the time assigned as well. That's also very good advancement for your presentations. Very good. Thank you, Mother.
Prabhuji, I need, if you have, you may wish to send it to me, the clippings on Prabhupada's lecture on chapter 26.
Okay, I will take which lectures are there, and then I will send it to you. I don't know if Prabhupada
Thank you.
has, but I will take a look. It's likely that the material nature Prabhupada generally doesn't have lecture, but I will check and let you know.
Okay.
Prabhuji, even for my topic, Prabhu, if that is
Yeah,
Prabhu's.
so Mother Chandranti, for your topic, Prabhupada has little more lectures than what you can handle. So you tell me which topic you want to narrow it down, and I can send it to you accordingly. So
Okay, Prabhuji.
you can connect with me offline.
Okay, Prabhuji.
And Uncle, you can also connect with me offline, because for Canto 3, Chapter 26, Prabhupada also has a lot of lectures. So you can then narrow down on what exact topic you want to talk about. Well, Prabhupada has some 37 some lectures for Canto 3, Chapter 26.
Sure, I will do that.
Yes, Prabhuji, sure.
And Mother Chandranti, you also, for your topic, Prabhupada has a lot of lectures for the words or the topic, so you can narrow it down to what exactly you want to listen and talk about.
Okay, Prabhuji. Thank you. I'll do that.
And rest of you also can please do the same. All right. Are we okay to stop here?
Thank you, Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna, everybody.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Thank you.
Hare Krishna.